What's up, guys? I'm gonna do another session of gesture drawings. As you can see, I've already started here just to get that stiffness out of my arm. Already did 5, and so far so good. And subject matter are rock girls, guitars, and hard rock, I guess. Anyways, let's do this. So when I do gestures, the first thing that I analyze is it's that line of action curve. And in females, ladies or women or female figure, you want to get that S line. So it starts, you know, it makes that S line. Once I got that, I use, you know, the hips will go here, and this becomes part of the leg now. All I do is draw the opposite line, the knee, and then I continue downwards, you know. And so this would be the bone on her pelvis. Then it curves in, and then it goes up. So I see that as a cylinder slash box and the head, you know, like this. This line becomes her the bones on her rib cage there, the clavicles, and then the shoulder, bone, elbow, bone, wrist, and the hand. And the hand over here goes back in space. You got the shoulder here, bone, elbow, bone, wrist, and the hand, and foreshortening here. Got her breasts over here, guitar, neck, body, guitar, body over here, and rest of her leg here. And I just realized I didn't start my timer. Okay. Okay, so basically that's it. Okay, let's do the next one. Let me number these out first, so it's gonna be done. Here, the action line, I see it like this, like at a diagonal, you know. So would be something like this, you know. Her shoulder, her head, her arm, her hand, guitar. That's a pretty huge guitar proportionate wise, but you know, we're here to draw the gesture. So at this point, proportions, you know, you can always throw them out the window because it's not as important as getting the vibe, like I was mentioning in our last video. So gestures are notes, really. You know, you draw fast just to make mental notes, I would say, you know, just to capture that first impression of a thing that you really want recorded down on paper. Can I start my timer? Yeah, okay. Okay, so this is like so. So you see, just in a quick few seconds, you can really capture a lot, you know. With practice, you know, you get better and better. So I remember when I first started this, it was challenging because you're always you're used to drawing slow, and when you do these gestures, you can't draw slow, man. You have to keep up with the pace, you know, and it forces you to, you know, hunt down and jot down the necessary action lines. And in time, you become second nature, you know, when you're drawing gestures. So it's like everything else, you know, practice makes perfect. So eventually you get better at it. But you gotta sit down and do the work, you know. So. Okay, so here we have a curve like this. Like so. And you can see the top of her shoulder here, so that's her breasts over here, and her head, like so. That's her hip. If you want to keep the balance of a figure, the pit of the neck drops down it's going to connect with the heel. There's always, you see me, I'm a little bit too far on the left right now, so it would be more over here, the ankle, the heel. That way you keep your figures in balance. Same thing here. Pit of the neck, draw a line right down to it. It connects with the heel or the tip of the foot, but mostly it's the ankle. Okay, so here she kinds of warps in space, which is like this, and then her shoulder is here. That's her rib cage over here. Her head is over here. Shoulder, arm, hand, fingers, other arm, other hand, fingers, thumb, guitar, neck, and her breast is here. Well, yeah, her hand would be here. It's, well, I'm being anal with the proportions here, and but like I said, that's not the issue here. As long as you try to get the emotion and the pose. Okay, see. Let me go back here just a second, just to show you what I mean. If I draw my line straight down, I'm not in balance right here. Okay, so her leg over here would have to be a little more spaced out. Okay, like so. That would be her knee over here, and then her foot. Now she's in balance. Like so. Okay. So always remember the pit of the neck connects either with the ankle or the top, I mean the tip of her toes. Okay. So next one. Whoa. That was 10. Okay, let me write these down. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Let's try this pen over here. I switch pens, you know. Oh yeah, right now I'm in Sketchbook. Yes, the last video was Coral Painter, and this one is Sketchbook Pro, made by Autodesk. It's really easy to use, very intuitive. I like the user interface, nothing complicated. You select what you need and you just start drawing, man, you know. And that's what you want. You don't want to complicate your life for nothing, especially if you want to sketch or do some art, you know. Coral Painter is a really great program to mimic every medium possible, you know, like oil, acrylics, pen and ink, and all that. But there's a lot of everything is really customizable, so you have a lot of functions and a lot of sub menus and stuff like that, which gives you total control of your brushes or whatever you want to use to do your art. But it comes at a price. You have to sit down. You have to sit down and play a lot with the brushes. And Sketchbook Pro is more what it is, sketching. So you got nothing too fancy. I see a curve over here. That's a nice curve. It's like, yeah, so Sketchbook Pro is nothing like Painter. What I really like about Sketchbook Pro is it's simple, and my main line of work is sketching. I do storyboards, so majority of the time I'll be doing my work in Sketchbook Pro instead of Painter. I'll use Painter because sometimes I like the pastel kind of brushes that it offers, or I don't know. It's one of those things where you ask a guitar player why does he prefer to play a Fender one day and a Les Paul the next. I mean, it's just a matter of feeling. I don't know, some days you feel like you want to do some Photoshop, and other days you feel like, well, you know what, I'll stick with Sketchbook Pro. So that's my 2 cents on the subject. Anyways, there we go. Knobs, Painter. I didn't start my timer. Okay, let's go. This one is like here, like so. And use basic shapes, man, when you're sketching fast like that. Minimize your line work like I mentioned. And the thing is, when you're doing gestures and doing storyboard work, it's very, very similar. I mean, the philosophy behind it, when you're mark making on paper, it's very, very close. There's not too much of a difference. So that's why the bulk practice, or the main exercise of a storyboard artist, for me anyways, is doing gestures. Very, very rarely I'll complete a drawing and spend like 12 hours on it. I mean, I used to do that in college because that was part of the program, but aside from that, I've been doing gestures, man, for a long time. And I still prefer doing that than doing finished drawings, to be honest. Don't ask me why. It's just, I guess it's my cup of tea, it's like challenging for me to do this, you know. And I don't know, there's something thrilling about it, just to capture the mood and the emotions. It's raw, you know. What I mean by that is it's pure energy. Instead of spending 12 hours on the rendering, you know, me, I'm more like of a guy who wants to get things done fast. I want results right now, and this is the best way for me to express myself, you know. I mean, sure, after doing this, you know, if you need to clean it up a little bit, you know, I'll clean it up, but most of the time, you know, you don't need that much of a cleanup. I guess it's a different style of illustration that most storyboard artists do. I've seen some really beautiful work done by other artists that I really admire. You know, it's really polished work, and it's something to look at, you know. But as funny as it may sound, like, you know, I still go like, damn, how do they achieve that level of finesse? You know, I know that when you're doing boards, you have to be fast. So what's their trick? You know, what's their workflow? And a lot of them, not all of them, but some of them, they use, I think they use like other brushes in Photoshop, which allows you to get that finished look and save you an extremely painful amount of time in rendering. Yeah, that's nice, man. Minimal. It's like I said, you want to draw gesture drawings or the subject matter, you know, make it a daily routine, because if you only do this like once a week, it's not enough, man. You have to do this every day, okay? Because well, memory is a funny thing, you know. If you don't do it over and over multiple times every day, you know, you tend to forget. So. And then again, it depends what type of artist you are. You know, I mean, me, I'm a storyboard artist, so, you know, I have to do this because it's part of, it's my best interest to keep on doing this, because I get faster at it, which means, you know, I cut my my working hours down when I get used to doing gesture drawings. You know, I mean, I get faster, I'm looser, I gain confidence, and I know what I'm doing is going to be good. You know, sometimes it takes more than a few minutes or a few hours to get in that zone where, you know, you feel confident and everything's going to be okay, you know. But some days it's tough, man. Some days it's not always candy, and you know, some days it's pretty, you know, it's pretty shitty, to be honest. But that comes with the job, and you know, it happens. So you're not always feeling like you're Superman every day. So I mean, for me, this is my strength, you know. Other people are really good at rendering things out. Me, not so much. So, not that I'm not able to do it, it's just that I don't have the patience to do it like I used to have. But sometimes, you know, I catch myself doing it, and it's fine, you know. Got the guitar body over here. Curves like that. Neck over here. Hand. And curve over here again. I'm going to make another video and I'll show you some quick tips on perspective and stuff like that eventually, so that, you know, you have a guideline, or at least an idea that you'll be able to remember easily. So when you come to drawing your stuff, you know, you'll be able to pinpoint right away, or at least make a rough estimate of where your eye line, that we call, for perspective issues. You know, what is above the horizon line or what is underneath it. So, that's a nice curve, man. That's a nice gesture. It's like wham, you know. Got the head, curvature of the back, the hip, the leg, feet. And then her arm over here. And guitar. basically it, you know. And when you're doing gestures like a 2-minute thing there, I mean, if you get your main action line down and within like 30 seconds, by all means keep on going and add some details to it, you know. I mean, it's a good sign if you're able to do that. It means you're in the zone and you've managed to get faster. Hmm? Okay, see, I dropped the line. I'm a little bit too, I'd rather be a little bit too far behind the line than in front, because at least that way I can always, you know, come back in front. It's like Todd McFarlane once said, he's a comic book artist, by the way, that when you're drawing comics, you're better off to over exaggerate than under exaggerate your drawings, because you can always add to it instead of cutting back, you know. So you better go over the top, and then, you know, if it's, my God, that's an ugly guitar. You're better to overdo everything and cut back into it instead of adding and adding and adding, you know. Okay, that's not my best gesture, but hey, you got the line, okay? The shoulder. Hip, the leg, and the foot over here, her skirt, and her other leg. Yeah, sometimes you get these weird angles. Just takes you a little bit of time to get used to it, but anyways. Head's a little bit too big. Anyways. Yeah. Okay, so we're back at this one over here. Let's draw a box for the guitar body, just to establish. Through here, shoulder, arms go back, forearm comes forward, and we got her fingers, tilted head. That's a tricky angle for the head, because you see underneath the chin. It's weird. I have a hard time with that. Oh, it can't be perfect on every subject matter, so you have to give yourself some time to improve on certain things too. I mean, it's part of drawing, you know? It's part of the challenge of drawing stuff out. Stop here. It's 20, this is going to be 25, 24, 23, 22, 21. Sip of coffee. Okay. And let's try this pen over here. Okay, so got their jacket, her hand, fingers over here, got her head over here, her neck, the shoulder, creases, forearm, hand, thumb, fingers, guitar neck, guitar headstock, guitar body, strings, skirt, what is this, jacket, leg, going backwards like that, foot or boot like that, skirt again, leg, knee, and boot. That's her sock over here. That's knee, hair, glasses, hair, nose, mouth, neck, and voila. Okay, let's try this pen. Arm, spine, hip, body, head, shoulder, arm again. What the okay, that's her breast over here, and then goes in, then comes out over here, leg, knee, foot, other leg, knee, goes in like that, foot like so, and you have that swooshing line coming down, guitar body. Guitar headstock, hand, finger, and she's looking downward. Her hair, jacket, guitar strap, an arm like this, hair, shoulder and arm, and yeah, something like that. Boot, the ground. Leg. Foot. Shoulder. Body. Skirt. And her head is over here. The hair coming all the way down. Glasses. Nose. We don't see her hand, so okay. Guitar strap. Something like that. And shadow. And shadow. That's her boots over here. Try this. Shoulders. The hip. The head. Elbow, wrist, fingers, elbow, wrist, hand, finger, thumb, neck, skirt, texture on skirt, knee, bottom of leg, ankle, foot, and the other foot is behind ankle, foot. guitar strap. Let's go back to this. Ouch. Okay. Hand, guitar, leg. So that's the guitar neck. Okay, her hands over here, fingers, arm, mm-hmm. So this is 30, 29, 28. Right, so last 5 ones. Go. It's almost the same pose as the other one, eh? Let's drop box for the body of the guitar. Fingers. Nose, the tongue, guitar strap over here, coat comes in like this, shoulder over here, goes here like that. Shadow. Like so. A little bit too high over here though. That's all right. Hair, nah, gotcha. Okay. Zip, zap, comme ça, and voila, and voila. Okay, so here's the test again. Probably a little bit too in front. Maybe not. If I draw the head over here, the pit of the neck, the shoulder, the arm, fingers, guitar body, guitar neck, fingers over here, and the breast over here, her shoulder, the arm. Guitar strap. Yeah. Yeah, it was a little bit too in front. That's about it. And so for shoulder going downwards like this, her hips will always go the opposite direction, okay? That's the counterbalance movement. And the last one. That's it. So 30 gesture drawings, and yeah, I'll catch you on the flip side. Ciao.